Hey guys and gals, Barnell here with another video on making money in Anno. In the last video, we discussed the soap and pocket watch trade. If you haven't seen that yet, make sure you check it out once this video is over, and that will kind of get you off to a good start. This video will discuss some base level economics for your very first island. When building your island, how many production buildings do you need? I see people running deep into debt because they place too many production buildings down. The best and easiest way I've found to deal with this problem is the statistics page. To access this page, you simply press Control Q. It will give you more info than you need, so I typically stay on this production page. So here we have a new island. So we just settled it, and let's kind of start off here. If we take a look at our statistics page, you'll notice that there aren't any production lines here at all. There are no needs, there's nothing. That's because we don't have any citizens in our island yet. Let's go ahead and let's put down a lumberjack hut. So with this lumberjack hut, first thing we'll notice is that we have this critical workforce icon that appears. Also up in the top, it says farmer workforce -5. So how do we fix that? Well, we have to put in some people.
You reached a new milestone.
In order for us to get a bigger city, we're going to need a lot more houses. As our city grows, the needs of our people will actually start becoming unlocked. So right now we need 50 farmers in order to unlock fish. So let's get 50 farmers. All right, so we have 50 farmers now, and notice that we do have a need finally. So when we press Control Q, it shows us that currently we need 1 fish. So that's cool. The other things we can see here too is that since we have some timber production facilities, we have 4 of them. We're producing 4. There aren't any needs for timber, so none of our production facilities are actually using timber. So we're just producing it. Notice up here we have wood. We have 4 wood that we're producing for 4 timber. So that's cool. So that matches. We always want these to match. So right now we have the basic need of fish of 1 fish. We're producing 0 fish. So let's toss in some fish. All right, so we just tossed in our fish. We got enough wood to do it. So let's check whether we are producing enough. Notice 1 fishery produces 2 fish, and we only need 1. Great. So we're doing good there. We don't need another fishery. This is great. In the schnapps now, we would need 2 schnapps in order to fill up the need for 2. And work clothes is 1 work clothes. So the next thing I want to talk about here is we are producing fish. Notice it's giving us 1 coin. That's awesome. So we could keep gaining citizens here. So that way we eventually can get to a positive. But, you know, doing it 1 at a time, that kind of sucks. Notice work clothes will give us 3 coins per farmer, so that's getting a little better. But in the happiness page, we can see that the schnapps will give happiness and +3 coins as well. So if we do all their needs plus their happiness with the pub as well, we'll probably be turning a profit. And let's see how that works out. All right, so as you can notice, we put in 2 potato farms, and we put in 1 schnapps distillery. So let's take a look and see how that's doing. So our potatoes were producing 4. We only need 2 because our schnapps are only taking in 2. So they can only produce 2 schnapps from 2 potatoes right now. If we added in more schnapps, we could obviously get more schnapps produced. So currently, our people are only taking in slightly less than 2. So this is fine here. We probably have 1 too many potato farms, but we know we're going to grow into it. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to add in our sheep farms. Notice we added in 1. Let's see how much wool that makes. It makes 2 wool. That's great. Let's add in 1 framework knitter. Notice now we're making 2 work clothes. We're using 2 wool, and we need slightly less than 2 of our work clothes. Now, we're still negative currently. We did have to add in a fire station. It does cost 25 coins in maintenance. So, realistically, we'd be down to about negative 75 if we didn't have that. Also, we have some extra sawmills in here and some extra lumberjacks, which, personal preference, I like to have as many of these as possible. So, let's upgrade some people. And let's add in a pub. Notice the pub does take some maintenance as well, minus 20. But we immediately will get a boost because the pub is providing plus 1 coin per house. Alright, so currently we're at negative 43. Our schnapps is at 52% right now. Once that gets all the way up to 100%, and our fish and our work clothes get to 100%, we should begin making some money. Okay, so our work clothes have now been produced. Notice we're about 42% and they're slowly growing, and we can see that our balance is increasing. So realistically, in the early game especially, you want to keep an eye on your production. So you don't want to add too many of these buildings, or else you'll end up running into some steep debt. So a personal strategy of mine is to begin with a main island, but also have a secondary supporting island. This secondary supporting island will actually have all of our factories on it. Notice this island, I have all of our steel being made, I have all of our tallow and soap and sausages being made for the main island. The reason why I separate the islands is because of the attractiveness. Notice on this island, it has a negative 257 pollution, negative 167 in vulgarity. Whereas in this island, we have 0, pollution is minus 20, and instability is 0. We have pollution minus 20 because we have our oil refinery here as well. Now, since we have 2 islands, this raises some complexity in terms of how many factories we need on one island versus the other island. So luckily, there's some built-in tools that help us. So we hit Control and Q at the same time again, we get into the production. So here we have the production here on this island at Valagalic. And if we hit Control and we click on Cattenwick, now we have multiple islands. So it'll actually tell us in here how much we need per island. So notice right now we have a lack of fish, so we could put in another fishery here if we wanted to. However, I'm so far in this game that I'm exporting and importing fish, and we'll talk about that in a different video. But this gives you an idea. So this is both of the islands combined now, because you do want to take care of the needs of both islands at the same time. But one island, I typically stop at workers, and the other island, I let it grow to investors and as big as I can get it. Now, again, as you continue on, you will try to branch out even more. I did have to create another island here as well, just for some of our factories. And there's a lot of different specialists that we can talk about in a different video as well, for why I made the island look like I did here. Okay, so on our statistics page here, we can select all islands, of course, and this will actually give us our finance. If we select the finance tab, we can actually see how we're doing. So in my main game here, we can see that my residents are making me 2.3 million, my visitors are making me 53,000, for a total of around 2.37 million. The expenses are 2.14 million, so that's a lot of expenses. If we take a look at our production building, we see that they take up 274,000. Now, our biggest expenses are the royal taxes, and I have not found a way yet to get rid of these. Skyscraper maintenance as well is very high, and again, we'll have another video later on that discusses how to deal with skyscrapers and how to ensure that you don't go into debt when you're building those. So yeah, guys, so that's the video on the island optimization and making money, part 2 here. We will be coming out with some more videos, as I said earlier, that kind of discuss some more in-depth things. But this should get you going when you first start playing Anno. So, alright, guys, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. And until next time, take care.